Welcome back to video. I'm wrong camera. Sorry. One more time. Welcome back to Video Champions, brought to you by Teal, the agency. I'm Howard Wolpoff, your host. We're talking about the video and the power of video here on this show. I'm happy to have my co-host with me, Andrew Cardy, with me. Andrew, welcome to this conversation.
Thank you.
So let me ask you, telling a story is very important. How does that really play in when you're incorporating video into the process?
Well, I'm really excited to have Daymon on the show because I think we'll be able to dig in this more. But from my experience, when you have a video, it grabs a lot more senses of a person than when they're just reading something or when it's just a picture. Video brings all of those to the table. And anytime you can tell a story that's pinging more senses, people are more engaged, they stay engaged longer, and most importantly, they remember and respond in a much more genuine way than when it's just one of those senses that you're grabbing.
Absolutely. The video is incredibly powerful and you get many different types of reactions from it. I'm sure our guests will share a lot more on this topic. We're happy to have Daymon Long from Day 7 Creative with us. And Daymon, welcome to this conversation.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
So when you're speaking to a client, what are the first pieces of conversation you're having when plotting out what video options might be the best for them?
Yeah, for me, it's always, what do you want that end result to be? There's so many different places that video can go and be now. So I work with a lot of nonprofit clients, and so their needs range from everything short form social video to longer form 10-minute video for gala events. And so those are very different end deliverables with very different end results. So clarifying that up front, make sure we're all in alignment and we take the right steps forwards to get the right narratives into each one.
So when you're meeting with them, are they usually coming up with the creative concept? Are you pitching them an idea, or is it more collaborative?
Yeah, it ranges for me. Some organizations, when I get some word of mouth recommendations, they have an idea and they're looking for the right partner for that, and I just help them fine tune that. But especially repeat clients that they've enjoyed our collaboration, they are now looking to me and saying, "What do you think is going to work for this now that you've been a part of helping make this past project work?" And from there, that's the really enjoyable process to figure out, okay, let's not just do this one-off video for one purpose. Let's figure out and create this library that creates a brand for your organization.
That's great. And Daymon, I think one of the things that I, having worked with nonprofits, and I think looking at your body of work too, one of the questions I had for you is, how do you, as a creative professional, how do you stay engaged with those stories, even when it's like maybe stories you hear over and over again? What is it that you do to bring the best or bring the most authenticity to those moments?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, it's a deep interest in people. It's a deep interest in what inside a person makes them tick, what inside a person draws them towards a certain profession or a certain achievement. That's my favorite part of video, is getting to explore the stories of thousands of different lives that I haven't lived. And getting to put that out there. And that's how I stay engaged. Even in some of the more mundane stories, it's so interesting to me that this is someone's life and this is what they wake up for every day.
Yeah, I think it's so that's a great answer, and I personally agree with you a lot on that, and then I wanted to ask you too, with nonprofits and that being one of the focuses that you do, how do you help them kind of broaden the idea of what those stories within that organization could be? Because sometimes they're like, all right, hey, I need to get somebody to give money. Here's the sob story, this human impact thing. But there's so many other stories that are there to be found. How do you kind of help them navigate through that?
Yeah, I think For me, I go to some frameworks from Story Brand by Don Miller, and trying to think of everything as positioning whoever you're talking to as the hero in the story and yourselves as the guide. I think that's an incredible framework for putting together a lot of different projects, and I think that can work regardless of who you're talking to. And I think once you get an organization to see that, then they see all the different ways that the different people they're talking to can be heroes, and finding the stories in that.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And Story Brand is such a great framework to be able to tell those stories. And I think what you said that was really wonderful, Daymon, was being able to help them see those stories and see the value of those people and the stories that they already have within that organization.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great.
Yeah, and it's very true. And it feels simple when you hear it, but I think for anyone who maybe watched the Super Bowl, you can see that there's tons of big mainstream brands that still don't exactly get that, or at least they go in a very different direction with that. But I've seen it to be powerful.
It definitely is powerful, and it's really great that you're able to share that with your clients and help tell their stories. So Daymon, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Pleasure to be here. And thanks for having me.
And thank you all for joining us as well. Having the right story, having the right storyteller, having the right person to capture that and create these videos for you is very important. It's going to help your brand go a long way. So go check out Daymon's information. Really focus on what you need to do to build your business. Go out, have a great rest of today, and we will see you next time.